today. It is Tuesday, 2 o'clock-ish. Therefore, we're live-ish. Well, we're more than ish. We're live. We're fully live. And today, if you hear a bunch of rattling in the background, it is because the little tiny girl dog needed some distraction. And that's what the distraction is today. It is a ball that spits out treats. So if you hear the rattling, that's what it is. Bowie is minding his, dumb big boy, his fan. And we're going to make some artwork. What's up, Swamper? How are you? How's the weather where y'all are? Hey, Sandy. I have something to send to you that I've been meaning to send to you since we went to Colorado. Manamna, sup? So I have been refurbing, I've been refurbing a lot of pieces with you guys lately because I feel like if I have a piece that hasn't sold in, I don't know, here lately I have pieces that I've had for over a year. And so if they're just not moving, if I've had them in a couple fire sales and nothing's happened to them, it's time to redo them. And so we're going to redo this one. It is so old, in fact, that it is actually on a canvas. We haven't poured on canvases in so long. What's up, JJ? And so I really liked the flow of yesterday's piece before I put all the color on it. I'm going to show you guys how yesterday turned out. All of the color is not for everybody, but all of the effects are definitely for everybody. These floating flecks of the old gold from Color Passion looks amazing. The underflex from where it just didn't float up. This like super beautiful shifted look because we have translucence playing with our top cells, more of the flecking. I love it. I don't know if Martin Green, was it Martin Green that messaged me yesterday about purchasing this piece? I haven't checked my email to see if he messaged me. But yesterday's piece was also kind of rehabbing artwork, redoing something to it in order to make it more attractive for people to want to purchase. So the same kind of thing is going to be happening today. And I went ahead and mixed up my Stone Coat Art Coat, best in the biz. If you're interested in some Stone Coat Art Coat for yourself, it has the most Halls UV protection that you can get on the market. And it's got, I can't notice the smell, but obviously I have a well-ventilated space. Everyone should be pouring in well-ventilated spaces or have proper PPE, which actually I should probably recommend everybody have proper PPE, but you won't be able to hear me if I have a full Darth Vader mask on, so I don't do that for my live feeds. And usually you can get it from my shop, but I'm out. So you can get it from stonecoatcountertops.com and use the code YALL, YALL, all caps, no punctuation, for a super awesome discount. I can't remember if it's 10, 13, or 15%, but it's one of those. And when you use it, it helps our channel. So this piece is very old, as I mentioned, and I want to kind of turn it into something similar to the geode that, nope. You know how the piece looked yesterday before I added all the colors? It was kind of geodesque. It had that kind of like flow to it. I want to do that to this, but keep all these beautiful large cells showing if at all possible. So I'm going to be doing black, a tint so that I can let these bad boys pop out. Talking about the cells. And I'm going to need some of the gold, not too much. I have a purple sapphire I want to add for a pop of color. And some white. And not much left over, but just in case. We have a little bit left. Thank you, JJ, for the link. Chase, how are you doing? How are things? Did you survive the storm? Well, obviously, since you're messaging me. Did you write it out or did you abscond? Did you leave town? Can't wait to come out there and do your countertops. So I'm going to be using the old gold because it is beautiful and does all the awesome effects. It's my opinion that old gold does better. Any metallic, actually any mica. Any mica does better if you overload them. So that's what I'm going to do. Such a yummy gold. And I have plenty of it in stock. See that puff of pigment that just went out? That is why I mostly use paste. But I don't have any 007, and that's the only other gold I have that will do that. Sandy, are those translucent spray paints words? Are they like acrylic based or are they like enamel based? And this is one of the newest colors I have. It is very popular right now with countertops and artsy people alike. It is Ebony Luster from Color Passion. It is a deep gunmetal-y black, but with like a chestnutty, goldy brown interference to it. It's quite lovely, but it is Ebony Luster. And pastes also, no matter how vigorously you mix them, won't puff out into your face like micas. And they mix in so effortlessly. You can just almost see that chestnutty, warm sheen. Hi, Lori. How are you doing? We are wonderful. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of the aqua mixed with Blue Lagoon tint. I don't want too much. I'm really hoping I don't put too much, but since I took the dropper off, I can't control myself and I always add too much. Doesn't this make you want to just hop in an ocean like right now, yesterday? Right now. Also, Chase, love the boots that you posted. Your like super awesome new rain booties. Hi, Cloudy Art. How are you today? They're enamel based. Then they should sit on the top and disperse if you hit them with alcohol, and they won't get kind of like gritty, those spray paints. Okay. So now I'm going to use the purple Bling It Sparkle. This one is in a violet. It's got purple in it, so I figured purple. But then again, I did not. I'm going to put this in the blue so it has some sparkle. Very minimal. Beautiful, subtle sparkle. Okay, this is going to be white. So I'm going to use a top cell white. Yes, to hopping in the ocean, it's 110 heat index. It is, last I checked here in Dallas, it is only like 113 heat index. I think the other day we had a feels like temperature of something like 118 or something like that. It was completely ridiculous. So this is the Passion Top Cell White. Hey, Paula. I reshipped your order, Paula. I couldn't catch the other parcel before it went out. It's cold in the UK. I would love to visit the UK, but I don't feel like anyone who's never experienced Texas heat, I don't think it would be a fair swap unless you've tried it before, Cloudy. So this color is Purple Sapphire. It's my absolute favorite purple. It's got like a very warm color to it. And this is a dry paste. So you can see that the texture is different. It looks like wet coffee grounds. And when you mix it into your resin, it doesn't puff up at you because it's got a binder already on it that's made for resin. How beautiful is that color? How beautiful is this color? It's my favorite color in terms of purples by far. And these dry pastes are even ones that you can mix into alcohol and spritz it over top of a piece if you wanted to. A lot of people do that like they do with the micas. Create some amazing effects. Not been yet, but plan to. Well, let me know when you hit up this side of the country. Also, I would love to visit the UK. We were planning on doing it before lockdown, but you know, reasons. Hi, Clara. Hope you're feeling well. Okay, so I'm going to do the black first. I'm going to do larger black bands. For the most part. And just like yesterday, I'm going to kind of put them where I want them to be before moving on. It is my opinion that you will waste less resin if you are kind of mindful about how you lay out your resin. So, for example, I'm spreading my resin out like this, and in my head, I will have to use less resin for full coverage because when you pour resin out, it's going to pour out depending on the viscosity of your resin and your ambient temperature. It's going to pour out at about a 1/4 inch, but it's going to self level at an 1/8 inch. So ultimately, you're going to pour on way more resin onto your surface than is going to actually stay on it, unless you're doing a tape dam, in which case this does not apply. So it's a little money saving tip for anyone that's interested. Okay. I think now I'm going to add the translucent blue. This is the Color Obsession Aqua tint mixed with Blue Lagoon, also from Color Obsession, the tint, and has just the slightest bit of Resin Arts Violet Sparkle mixed in. And I'm using this over the cells that I want to make sure come through. I don't want to lose these because they're beautiful. All right. Now I don't really have a risk of these guys getting lost. I mean, there's always a risk, but less so if you kind of pre-mask them off with a translucent, transparent, or even just a clear. So now I'm going to add some blue through here as well, but I need to add some white. This is the part in pouring where you just kind of have to trust the process because it can look so sloppy. I'm realizing that this is not level, it's domed because I put my cups under the soft canvas instead of the rigid rim. So hopefully I'll get less travel now. This area is just solid gold essentially. Didn't look particularly attractive, so I'm just going to cover that with some white. And then I'm going to edge this up as well. I'm just going to push a wave of the color into whatever color's next to it. For example, here I'm pushing a wave of white into the ebony luster. And by doing that, I don't get any of the black onto my finger, and I still get to kind of design where the color goes. Decide. It worked. It's okay. And so I also want to put some of the under gold down, which arguably I should have done before the translucent, but I was just so excited to get that down. But that's okay. I'm also going to use the gold to make some of the other lines make sense, like this. Maybe a thicker band. Right here. I'm just using it as a connector because it's going to be the brightest color on my palette. So odds are your eyes are going to follow either the brightest color or the darkest color. It's never going to follow the translucence, at least not in the first bit. It may eventually. Let that fill in. Let this fill in. I'm just going to turn this upside down right here. So these are our reusable stir sticks. You just wipe them off after each use and they're ready to go for the next one. Don't just wipe them off with your hands. Wipe them off with like an alcohol rag, which I don't have handy in this second. Okay. I was kind of worried at first when I was picking a palette for this piece that the purple and black and gold together would kind of read Halloween-y. But then again, we're kind of coming up on October, so it's fine. I'm going to transfer some of this to down here. I feel like half the battle of a good art piece is getting the colors where you want it, and then the other half is trying to manipulate those colors into doing what you had in your head. And a lot of the times it doesn't work out how you have it in your head. So if you're going to be a resin artist, you kind of have to be okay with the fact that resin's going to resin. TM. I feel like I need to do something maybe like this. We'll see how that works out. Thank you, Clara, for adding the colors that we're using today. If you're interested, you can get them from my website, artisttilldeath.com. Now I'm putting some of this translucent blue over some of the gold that we have because it's going to allow for this unique kind of float up of some of the gold flecks. If you were here for the beginning of this video, you saw a piece that I had done yesterday where the flecks floated up, and this, I'm kind of just seeing if I can recreate that look because it was a half accident. Half accident? I feel like that's accurate-ish. Okay, okay, okay. You just let Bowie down. His dad's home and he wants to go say hello. It's amazing. He comes home like right in the middle of the live every time.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Lori, thank you so much for watching for so long. I hope I've been able to help you or yeah, help you. I hope I've been able to help you with your art journey. Let me know if you need anything. Thank you so much for watching. I think I'm going to take the rest of this, I think, and make some more blue. We'll go tell him. Have you guys ever had a husky? Does your husky talk? Especially if she's jealous. So I'm going to add kind of the same amount I did last time, but since I have less resin in this cup, it's going to be a darker color because with transparent tints, you can add as much color as you like and it'll still be translucent, but it'll change kind of the hue of the color. So I'm just going to fill this bit in. So once we have all these colors down, we'll be able to manipulate it and turn it into an actualized or realized art piece. I'm trying not to use the same finger when I move colors around. So at this point, I have a white finger and a blue finger. Now my pinky is the ebony finger. All right, now we have full cover. Nope. We almost have full coverage. Okay, now we have full coverage. We can start manipulating the design. Let me wipe my hands off real quick. So, do you guys have any questions about anything? This channel and others inspired me to do resin art class for my 50th in January. Been hooked ever since. Wow, that's so awesome. Happy belated 50th. I'd like to see the blue into the clear resin, but don't mix it fully, then pour. It'd be cool to see maybe streaks and pour. You can definitely do that. If I had any resin left, I would show you, but there's always tomorrow for me to show you. All right, I still have some little dry bits. I'm just gonna touch those and close them in. Essentially, you just have to break the surface tension and then the resin will do the rest. I'm new as an artist, but not to YouTube. Thank you, Alicia. So I'm gonna just pull you guys down and give you a flyover before we do anything else crazy. You can see the flecks of the old gold are starting to rise. We haven't even done anything to it yet. I always see the low spots when I give you guys a flyover. So you can still see these awesome cells. We covered those so that they're not gonna get lost. This looks like an octopus tentacle. Oh, thank you so much, Lori. I really appreciate you saying that. Look at the size of those. Those are like dime sized. Okay. So now the manipulation can commence. Let me get some swiping paper. And I have a little bit of resin left in my cups that I can use to do whatever after we get this part done. So I'm gonna swipe on here just to kind of blend some of these edges. And the ebony black that we're using, the ebony luster, it has kind of a brown undertone. So when we go next to this white, it's gonna read a secondary color that's kind of brown. But I feel like if you know that before you put it on a piece of artwork, then it's okay. Some colors, when they're diluted, have just a secondary color. And for this one, it's a brown. I'm also going to give some kind of scalloped motion with this. So you can see that kind of brown hue coming up right here. And where the white's coming back over it. It just gives that soft gradient between those two colors. I'm going to do a few more of those. If you've never seen a swipe done, what I'm going to do is take this piece of swiping paper. It's very expensive. It is the back of my FedEx shipping labels. If you guys sent me a note on your next order through me at artistilldeath.com, if you get any of these colors or any other colors, let me know you want some swiping paper and I will take care of it and send you some free ones. Okay, so now I'm going to go along and do a few more swipes to blend in some colors. So I'm going to lay the paper I'm going to lay the paper horizontally and take my time pulling everything. When you just showed swipe of the ebony, the gold under it is pretty, right? The gold cells or gold somewhere other than these cells. Okay, so I'm going to let about a pencil width of pigment pick up on my paper and take my time swiping so that everything moves along. If you go too fast, it's going to skip, which is still a cute look, but not so much what we're going for in this piece. Now this area is a little bit more blended, so I'm going to kind of do a swipe back over here. And to do this, I'm going to kind of swipe in motion instead of letting it pick up because that's going to create a stop. I'm going to just come in motion. Lovely. Okay, now this bit needs to be blended out. And on this one, I think I'm going to try to pull some of the purple down across the white and into the ebony. So I'm going to use this swiping paper to create that effect. So I'm going to come and bring the design all the way in and then back up. Hard part is not getting lost behind your hand. I don't want to pick up too much of that gold because it will take over. Just trust me. It is a scene stealer. I feel like I need a skinny white line right here that I can swipe into the purple. But I'm going to let it relax there for a minute first. And since I'm working on a 16 by 20 and I can't really reach over it and keep you guys in frame, I just turn the piece around. In the classes that I teach, I find a lot of times people don't realize that your life is easier if you can reach everything without stressing. Now I'm not going to do the boob dip. I'm not going to get my shirt sticky. Smarter, not harder, yeah? Clara, is that heat gun attachment that like hook, the hook one? Okay, I'm gonna swipe some of this purple and black into the blue, but I'm gonna try to do this delicately because I don't want to cover all of these cells we have going on right here. I'm gonna try to bring some white along for the ride as well. Kind of make it a wispy type design. The cool thing about doing stuff like that is you end up picking up a little bit of color that you kind of didn't even notice, and it'll deposit in other areas. So I didn't really mean to stretch this all the way down and pick up purple here and then deposit purple and black here. But it's so faint. I can't even, okay, there it goes. I love that subtlety. I feel like a lot of times with artwork, people want like a big, like super big wow factor. And people often underestimate how wow factor subtlety is. A lot of my favorite things in my artwork are the subtle that I kind of did, maybe probably didn't even notice the first time I looked at the piece, but then later on like third observation, notice it. Just me. Okay. So I want to work on this area, but I don't want to mess up these gold lines here. What you would do is not put these gold lines till later if you don't want them messed up with a swipe, or you got to have to be very specific and trail off your swipe. So we're going to swipe and trail off to the corner. So we're going to pull it. And then last thing we have intact is this little corner bit. And then we're going to trail the tail into this space here in between the two golds. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this purple as well, because why not? All right, so we're going to start our trail, gradual. Boop. So now it makes sense, and we didn't interrupt our flow. What's up, TG? So we picked up a lot of that color and brought it down. And this was accidental picking up some of this, but I like how it looks. And just subtly brought it in through this design of the gold. Now we have to match up the rest of that area because this isn't really that nice. I think it would be if I can just get this part of the white to trail in and match up with the rest of it. I could just draw a white line into it, but then you're going to have a hard stop somewhere because I don't want to actually fill in the black in between the two golds. So just like we did a second ago, I'm going to take another piece of swiping paper. I only use swiping paper one time. And we're just going to do the same thing, and I'm going to trail it down onto this corner and match it up. In theory, sometimes resin's going to resin and there's just nothing you can do about it. But hopefully we can avoid that. All right, we're going to start the tail. Boop. Loving it. I hope you're having an amazing day, TG. Clara does have amazing videos. I definitely highly recommend. All right. I'm trying to figure out what else I should do with this piece that isn't going to ruin it. Knowing when to stop is something that is probably one of the hardest things to learn as an artist, no matter what medium you work with. I feel like it's hard to know because you always have it in your head, like, if I just do this one other thing, it may bring out this, or if I just one other thing, it may look like this. And it's so difficult. Agreed, Cloudy. Claire definitely has first class work. So I feel like I'm going to add some gold here and gold here. But I want to something right here. I'm not sure what I'm missing or needing or wanting on this end. I don't know if it was that, but I'm going to put some of this darker blue down. And I think I'm going to put some of the darker blue down right here. I don't typically do that many small lines except for at the very end, because if you do a whole bunch of thin lines, the piece is going to look busy and just dramatic in the wrong ways. Whereas if you put thicker bands and then accent them at the end with thinner lines, then it looks a lot more calm. And sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, if you've got too much busy action, it makes the viewer kind of uneasy because there's so much going on. So if you kind of cool it, calm down a little bit, and just add all the fun little lines later, then your piece is going to have a more cohesive flow to it, and it's not going to overwhelm your viewers. That's just my opinion. Art is subjective, to each their own, and none of it is wrong. I'm just telling you what I've come to observe or appreciate and notice. So it's just me. Okay, so I'm going to add gold over here just to add kind of balance, because the center was very gold heavy and the rest was not. And I think it's good. I've already got cells coming up. I think Stone Coat has amended their formula again. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I don't work for Stone Coat. I'm just a friend and a fan. But for a long time, I was having the hardest time getting any cells to populate when using Stone Coat. And now it looks like they've kind of doubled back on their recipe to something that's a little bit more cell friendly. So I'm going to show you. You got cells coming to work here and here. And they're starting to pop up here. I will point out though that the areas where my cells are presenting are all where I have the color passion pigments. Those are base cells, all except for the top cell. Even if it doesn't say base cell, for example, the ebony is a base cell paste. And when it is under other colors, it'll give you larger cells. But also the top cell does sell as well. I'm not seeing them in any areas where my base cells aren't present. Even here over the blues, that is top cell color passion. So I really like about this piece that you can still see the areas that I liked, the big cells from the first pour, but it's also now completely different design wise. It is now, very linear-ish, horizontal instead of that swirly pattern. What's up, Jerry? Break up the white space, perhaps blue or purple. This band. So I will add a line to it, but I'm not going to add too much because kind of like what I was saying a second ago is the bigger spaces kind of give your eyes a rest. And since I have larger bands of black, I want to have some bands of something that isn't to balance. So I don't think I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add just a band of the ebony just through this top area because this is ebony heavy down here and there's only kind of a little bit up here. So for balance sake, definitely agree, Miss Sherry. And I don't have that much left. So we're just going to bring it right along that edge. I almost feel like I should put a gold through here, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to add too much. You know what I mean? Genevieve, always love that name. So I think that we have a painting for today. And something that's really cool about this color passion. Sherry, just a touch of gold or just a touch is all that we needed. If you add heat to it, you can make it float more. I don't know if you saw that big move, but I'll add some more heat right here. So with heat, you can make all of the gold particles kind of float more to the surface if you really like that flecked look where it's kind of coming out like this. The little floating bits. I wouldn't add too much heat though because you can scorch your resin and that is neither going to look nor smell good. So don't get crazy with the heat. So thank you, Jerry. It's too hot in Florida. Well, I would love to come swim in the Southwest Florida Ocean. So I'm just going to add a thin band of the gold up here. I don't even think I'm going to come all the way through. So I'm going to show you guys how to put a color down that you don't want all the way across. As you know, you always start applying a line or a pour off the piece so that you don't have that little blurb, that big chunk of resin or color or pigment or whatever that comes out first when you first start to pour something, where gravity catches all of the liquid and gives it that raindrop. So you can't really do that if you are stopping halfway or partially through the piece. So that's another time where knowing how to swipe and trail it off by using just the corner comes in handy. So I'm going to just swipe up along the edge all the way down, and then I'm going to trail just the corner. I'm going to use this to kind of push the gold into one line since it kind of doubled up on me. Now I'm going to just use the point to trail it off. That way, there isn't a definite stop, because when there's a hard stop, a blunt stop, it's distracting to the eye. But now there's a point. And so that it adds to the look without detracting from the look. Hope that makes sense. How hot is it in Texas? If I cracked an egg, it would cook in less than what it would on my stovetop if I just cracked it on, let's say, the hood of a car. So it's pretty flippin' warm. Love how this turned out. I hope you guys do too. I know the color scheme is not for everyone, but I think that it's lovely, and it's got great colors, and it's got great movement, and it's got the cells coming up, but not too much. So you don't want to overwhelm anybody. Love it. If you guys are interested in this or any other piece you've seen me create on this channel, I have some listed on our website, artisttilldeath.com, under completed fine arts. And then you can also send me a message through our website. There's a text form. It comes straight to my phone if you want to get in touch with me. This is what we did yesterday. Kind of similar. It gave me inspiration for today's, because I really liked this floating, sporadic, old gold from Color Passion. And these stretched, I'm pretty sure this is what's happening. Okay, hear me out. This is e-science. I don't have actual science for this. I have no idea. Also, I love these flecks. And you can't just sprinkle it on and get it to do this. Bless you, bee. Has to come up through a translucent for that to look like that. Actually, bless you, probably would work under an opaque as well. Okay, so this look, I can see that there are pink cells here. And so what I'm pretty sure, this is one of those underpainted lines that I had. So this is all white. All of this used to be white, and then there was pink next to it that rolled over and pushed this line of white over here. And I'm pretty sure that what this is cells that are under the pink tint that just got stretched because I had it off, just slightly off level. And so it's pushed the floating white, the top cell, but it was, since the white is under the pink and it's stretched, I'm quite sure that these are just undercells, which I love. So we've got them over here as well. So I know it's not the pink specifically. It is the tints with a top cell paste under them. But isn't that like wispy look so nice? I'm going to do a whole piece. I feel like if you were going to do an Aurora Borealis, this is the technique to go with. Just my opinion. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. You've learned something, were entertained, educated, or otherwise informed of something that maybe you didn't know before or just want to try now. And if you want the colors I used today, Clara has so kindly listed them in the chat box, but I will go over them. Bling It Violet Sparkle, Color Passion Top Cell White, Color Obsession Blue Lagoon with Color Obsession Aqua, Color Passion Ebony Luster, that's the top cell white, and Purple Sapphire by Resin Art, Old Gold from Color Passion. Whew, mouthful. Anyways, we will be back here live tomorrow. If you would like to join us again, we go live at 6 p.m. Central most days, except for on Tuesdays, it's at 2 p.m., which is why we're here right now today. We will be on RK3's channel tonight, supporting a friend of ours at 7 p.m. Central, and we'll be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central. So if you have any questions, concerns, want to ask me about anything, reach out to me on my website. I do all art here. Most times it's resin, sometimes it isn't. But if you guys have any requests, leave them for me down in the description box. Thank you for watching, sitting through me babble on about what I'm painting today. It means so much to me for you guys to just watch, let alone purchase from my very small business. Be kind to one another because you never know what someone's going through.
And always remember, we do the tests.
So you don't have to. And we'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Till then, where's my puppies?
They're both sleeping.
He's my tired boy. He's my little boy. And big girl. What are you doing, Foxy? You guys are amazing. We'll see you guys. Woo. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Did you say bye, my babes? Did you babes say bye? Did you babes say bye? Okay.